Hi, it's Noah from Extreme Terrain. You're looking at the Barricade HD Overland Drop Side Step Bars for the 2021 and newer Bronco 4-door. If you want some really beefy side steps for your Bronco that are going to add another layer of style and functionality to your rig, then you should check out these guys from Barricade. Drop side steps are hard to make low profile just because of the nature of the drop in the step. But these side steps still, I'd say, look pretty low profile, and they look right at home even on a stock Bronco. Now, that means they're a great option for Bronco owners who want a side step that's a bit understated and they don't want to draw a ton of attention, but it still looks like an upgraded part, not something that came stock. Now, these do a great job of balancing looks and function, at least in my opinion, and they still give you a nice drop to put your foot when you're getting in and out. They actually have a stamp design here on the foot pad, and that's going to help give you a little bit more traction to the bottom of your shoe. Now, these are black, which I do think looks really nice on any paint color, and overall they look pretty tough, especially with the Barricade logo here between the two foot pads. Next, let's talk about the construction aspect of these running boards. Obviously, they're designed to hold some weight and they're going to be made from metal. They're actually made from heavy-duty steel plate, so these are going to be really strong and they'll hold a lot of weight. Then all that metal is enclosed in a textured black powder coat. The coating has a dual purpose. It's going to keep the steps from corroding and getting beaten up easily, and it creates an anti-slip surface that's textured so your shoe won't slip when it's wet. Smooth and plastic steps can be really slippery when they're wet, so having a textured finish is a huge perk. And then lastly, these guys are designed to use the factory mounting locations, and they're drop-in, no drilling, and no modification required. These running boards come in around $450 for the pair, and they're definitely on the more affordable side of the market for the 4-door Bronco. And a set like this from Barricade, I'd have to say, is pretty much what I think of when I think side steps, and these are an obvious go-to, at least in my opinion. As far as installation goes, these have an install difficulty of only 1 out of 3 wrenches and 2 hours total for the install time. This is going to be a nice and easy job that can be done in the driveway with no issues, no special tools. Plus, we're going to show you how to do it. So next up, let's head over to the install bay and check out how to get these guys installed.
The tools you'll need for this project are a ratchet, a 16 and a 17 millimeter socket, a 13 and a 16 millimeter wrench. Hi everyone, today we're installing a set of side steps on our Bronco, so let's get started. All right. We've got 3 brackets for each side of the vehicle for our running boards. And they all are side specific. So you're going to need to make sure that you have the correct brackets for the correct side of the vehicle. And they are all stamped. Like this one here is marked as DF, which is going to be driver's side front. There's also a DC and a DR for the center and the rear. And the other ones will have PC and PR for the passenger side. So you want to make sure that you put these on in the correct order and on the correct side, otherwise your boards are not going to fit correctly. So we're going to go ahead and install the driver's side front first. And to do that, we're going to be using the M10 bolts that come in the kit, along with a lock washer and a flat washer. There's going to be 2 of them for each bracket. So let's go ahead and get these installed. All right, now the first 2 holes that we're going to be dealing with are right here, right behind the body mount on the frame. Now you should have some plastic plugs in each of these holes and also in the rear holes as well. Now ours are already been taken out, so we're just going to go ahead and put our bracket in. And like I said, we're going to be using the M10 bolts supplied in the kit, along with our flat washers and our lock washers. Now, you don't want to tighten these up just yet because there's going to be some adjustments that have to be made once we get everything all put together. So just put the bolts in, relatively finger tight, just to hold it in place so it doesn't fall out while you finish putting in the rest of them. And that process is going to be the same for the rest of the brackets on the driver's side as well as the passenger side. Now we're ready to install our drop step. And you'll notice on each of the drop steps that there are 2 holes on each end, and you may have to knock out the support gasket that goes between the step and the bar itself. It's no big deal, just push your finger on it and it'll pop right out. It's already pre-cut, you just have to get it out of the way. Now to put these in, we're going to be using these support brackets here, a little triangle shape with 2 studs welded onto it. Now when you put these in, you'll notice that the holes are angled on the bottom of your running board. And these plates with the studs in them will fit into these holes. Now the one thing you do have to make sure of when you put these plates in is that there is a crease at the bottom of the step. You want to make sure that one edge of your support plate here runs along that crease. You don't want it to overlap the crease because then it'll cause damage and ruin your boards. So we're going to go ahead and put our plate in here like so, and then we'll put our step like this. Now we're going to go ahead and use our flat washer and one of the nylock nuts that are supplied in the kit. And we're just going to put that on until it stops. We're not going to tighten it up just yet because, as I said earlier, we will have to do some adjustment to make sure everything's lined up correctly, and then we'll tighten everything up once we're happy with the alignment. So we've got the back side done. Now we go ahead and put one in the front. Now you can go ahead and repeat that process for the rear step and also for the passenger side. And now we're ready to go ahead and install our board onto our brackets on the vehicle. Now you will have to determine which running board goes on which side of the vehicle based upon where the support brackets here are and where the support brackets line up on the running board. So what we're going to do is use these M10 bolts with the flat washer and a nylock nut. And we're going to put our running board with the bracket that's inside the board here. We're going to put this on the back side of these brackets here. You don't want to go on the front, put them on the back side. And then we'll put the bolt through the holes in the bracket and the running board and put it with a nylock nut on there to hold it in place. Then we'll double check our alignment and we'll be ready to tighten everything down. I'm just putting one in each bracket right now just to hold it in place so that I don't have to hold up the running board anymore. If you've got an extra set of hands to help you support that board while you're putting in the bolts, great. Now that we've got one started and in the center and the front, we can go ahead and put in the rest of them. Now, because of the fact that we're doing this on the ground, it's a little tough to get the camera in here where you can see it, but you'll be able to see where the holes are at, where you need to put these bolts through when you're underneath it. So just go ahead and finish doing that on the driver's side, and then you can repeat the whole process for the passenger side. So now we can go ahead and tighten up our brackets to our inner rocker panel here. And we're going to be using our 16mm socket to tighten those bolts up. And we'll do the same thing for the other two on this side. Now, as I said earlier, it is a little difficult to get the camera in here because we are on the ground, but you obviously know where the bolts are at because you just put them in. So let's go ahead and finish tightening all these up. And now we'll go ahead and tighten up our steps to our running board. And to do that, we're going to be using a 13mm wrench. All right, once you've got one step tightened up, you can go ahead and repeat that process for the other one. Now that our steps are tight to the bars and our support brackets on the body are tight, now we can go ahead and tighten up the bolts that hold our bar to our support brackets on the vehicle. To do that, we're going to be using a 16mm wrench and a 17mm socket, and we're just going to tighten those up now that we know that the bars are straight and exactly where we want. All right, and as we said earlier, it's a little tough to get the camera down in here for you to see, but you obviously know where all the bolts are at because you just put them in. So let's go ahead and get those tightened up. And now you can repeat that process for the other side. And that wraps up our review and install of the Barricade HD Overland drop side step bars for the 21 and newer Bronco 4-door. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Bronco, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.